Market.
Ok, cuando tu papi estaba chico, que tenía la edad de 9 años, tus abuelitos lo mandaron en un burro a cortar frijol a las 4 de la mañana. Y ese burro era muy bruto. Entonces lo tumbó y se cayó en un alambrado y se alambró una pierna. Y la cortada fue de 3 pulgadas.
¿De veras?
That's my name too.
Hey, rolling.
Market. Action. When my dad was 9 years old, his mother and father sent him to pick beans at 4 o'clock in the morning. They sent him on a scary cat donkey. There's a place where you had to go onto a trail, and on that trail there's a place where you had to stop. And then the donkey got scared and jumped, and my dad fell off onto a fence and cut him slow, and it was a 3-inch cut, and then he cried.
A new dimension has been added to the Jackson ESD Migrant Education Summer School program. This year, with the help of the Arts Council of Southern Oregon, 4 artists in residence are working with students and teachers in creative writing, video, visual arts, and theater.
Okay, if you have a problem that looks like this.
For 12 years, this important summer program has concentrated on improving skills in oral language, reading, and math. This summer, with the integration of the arts, the children's educational experience has been more exciting and complete. It has given the children of migrant workers moving into the Rock Valley the chance to see themselves, to learn about their culture and history, and to discover and integrate the arts into their learning process. The starting point of the process was for the 4th and 6th graders to collect oral stories from their families. The children's stories and feelings were then the inspirations for their visual art and performance work. It was a collaborative process, weaving many art forms together with teaching English as a second language. Award-winning author Sandra Schofield.
It's been really satisfying to work with the older kids in writing oral histories. We did this because we wanted them to learn about themselves and to write something that meant something to them. And some of the kids told familiar stories, but for most of them it was a chance to learn something they hadn't known before. And it fits right in with a really important principle in teaching writing, which is that, at least at the beginning stage, writing is speech written down. And we've tried different forms, poems and prose, which really consists mostly of sentences, with a chance to read to one another, to use each other as resources, which in this setting is very natural because you have kids translating for other kids, you have kids reading to each other, and sometimes working as partners or collaborators. But ideally, I think when we're working with kids who are trying to grow in their language development, the process is especially good for them if it's a lot slower, gives them a chance to think through ideas, write them down, get feedback from one another, from teachers, whatever, so that it's brought up to the best that they can do, and by that point it's really better than what they were able to do spontaneously, but they still own it, it's still theirs, and they see what their language can move towards. So you're always trying to tug the kids toward something a little better than what they do by themselves. That's why you need a teacher. At the same time that you're saying, that's a great idea, you know, that's very interesting.
This story is about my father. My father have 18 years old, go to the mountain and found one snake. My father said, "I'm killed the snake," and threw one rock in the head. But the snake did not die, and he go with my father, and the snake his bite in the foot to my father, and family for my father called the doctor, and the doctor gave it to my father medicine and eaten and passed weeks, and my father is well and never found more snakes.
Cuando mi papá tenía 15 años le picó un alacrán y se andaba muriendo, pero le dieron una medicina que se llamaba atole de esquite y se alivió. That happened to my mom when she was 6 years old. My mom it was a Friday afternoon, and my mom came out of school. My grandma told my mom and my aunt to go to feed the pigs. But my mom was afraid to open the pig store because they were afraid the pigs might come out. But my mom climbed on the fence. Then my mom fell off and broke her arm and told her sister, "My hand is broken, my hand is broken." So her sister started looking for something. Then her sister started looking for something. My mom said, what are you looking for? She goes, "I'm looking for your broken hand." Then my mom says, "Why are you crying?" She goes, "'Cause the pigs ate your hand."
Projects that the artists brought to this summer school program were projects that all of the kids could participate in. And with the oral histories, which we started with, the writing project, all of the children were able to go home. It was a topic that everyone could go home and find out something from their parents or from some family member, and they could bring that back and write about it in school. So it wasn't, nobody was left out. Everybody had a frame of reference that they could pull a story from, and then they were included in the project.
Her sister started looking for something. My mom said, what are you looking for? She goes, "I'm looking for your broken hand." Then my mom says, "Why are you crying?" She goes, "'Cause the pigs ate your hand."
Good story. That was great.
Here we are at Migrant Education Jefferson Elementary School. Here beside me is Howard, the video man. What do you think of this year, the videos?
I think it's been excellent. I've had a great time doing it, and I think the kids have learned a lot about video, and not only video, but about making a video, working the equipment. Maybe a little bit they've become interested in getting a career in video. We've also put together some excellent programs. The 4th to 6th graders put together a program of their oral histories in which they got practice both learning, talking to their parents or grandparents or brothers and sisters and learning stories about their history and their culture. They got to write those stories down, then they got to memorize those stories, then they got to say those stories in front of a television camera, and they've repeated it, and they've really gotten good at both learning. It's been helpful in learning English. It's been helpful in learning video. They've all got a chance to film each other and do the different positions like sound and camera and directing on video. They also got a chance to edit all of those programs together. So 4th to 6th graders, they really got a chance to see what video was all about. At the same time, a group of high school students, including yourself, Lorena, and Efren, and Greg, and Jordan, worked with me to make a documentary program about the whole program, not only the kids making a video program, but kids doing everything else in the school. And we combined it with the different artists. And I'm hoping, and I've really, working with the high school students, they've become really good at making video programs. In fact, they're operating the camera now. They do most of the camera work, the sound work. They're going to be doing a lot of the editing work, and they're going to be finishing a professional program by the end of this session. So I think it's been a real worthwhile program for the kids as well as for myself, and I think it's something that we should continue to do. What do you think?
Well, I think it's pretty good. It's been fun working with you and working with other kids, some kids I didn't know. I think it'll come out pretty successful and go through all over the United States.
Great.
Action!
Cut.
I'm not sure if any of them will become video artists like yourself, but they're certainly aware, and they were expressing to me today that they now know how commercials are made, and they were impressed with the editing and seeing the studio and those kinds of things. So I certainly think we've heightened their awareness.
On this ranch, there was a pretty lady. She was falling in love with the pilot. One day, the pilot was flying to the ranch. Everyone was out talking in the square and playing baseball. All of a sudden, they heard the engines of a plane. Everyone spooked, and they went to hide. After everyone came out, they were mad at the pilot because he scared them. After they all crowded around the plane and asked many questions, all the pilot wanted to do was to see his fiancée.
When we were coming to Oregon, all my family in Mexico was sad because we were leaving. I started to cry. Then we left to Tijuana, and we got there in one day. Then we spent the night at my brother's in Los Angeles for one night. In the morning, we left to Oregon. First when we came, we had to live with my aunt. Then we moved to our own house. I didn't know any English, nothing, not even a word. I went to school, but I started to cry and cry. 1 month after, I knew English very well.
Well, I see summer school as the greatest thing for these kids. I think that 5 weeks of summer school is probably the most valuable thing that we, as a program, provide these kids. These kids will all go back to their regular schools in 4 school districts in Jackson County. And so they'll be spread out probably in about 20, well, more than that. It'll be in about 32 schools, I think, something like that. So there won't be 192 of them all together in one place. They'll now be spread out all over Jackson County. So you were asking about self-esteem and self-confidence, and I think it's a great self-confidence and self-esteem booster to have these kids all together for a certain amount of time. Even though it's short, it's valuable for them to be together and see that there are other children like them in Jackson County. And so when they go back and they are the only child in their classroom who doesn't speak English, they can know that, in fact, there are other kids just like them around and other kids going through the same kinds of, the same process that they are in learning a second language.
Eligibility for the summer program revolves around the kind of work that the students' parents do. The students have to have come into the area within the past 6 years with their parents or guardians. The parents or guardians need to have been looking for work in agricultural fields. In this area, of course, most families come for the first time to work in some facet of the pear industry. They are here at summer school this summer for a good time. They're here also to work on skills that perhaps need some upgrading from the regular school year. And we work with kids in grades preschool through the 6th grade in the summer program. That's 185 students from ages 4 through age 12. We don't have an actual secondary program in operation, but we do have secondary students who have been in the program in the past who come back to us in the summertime and lend a hand in the classrooms. We find them to be excellent role models for the younger students, and the teenagers have a good time as well.
Well, each year the Migrant Education Program staff comes up with a theme for the summer school, and this year they picked Treasures of My Culture, perhaps to reflect the stories that the children were going to gather of their family, their history, their culture, which they then brought back to the summer school and expressed through many different art forms, written and oral language, drama, visual arts, painting, and through the eye of the video camera. We brought artists in to work with teachers, to share their art forms with the teachers, and to teach the teachers how they could use these different art forms, whether it be painting or drama, how they could incorporate them into their classroom, whether it be a special project, doing a watercolor painting, or using an aspect of the arts to teach other curriculum.
This summer school has been quite different from the summer schools that we have had in the past. And the common thread that has run through these 5 weeks of summer school has been the arts. And it has given the opportunity to my students to really see how they can work as part of a team, working in their own production and working on their own products like watercolors or writing or performance for La Fiesta. And for my part, I have been able to integrate some of the works that we have been doing in music, for instance, to make it as a springboard for my language instruction in my classroom. And everything has worked out as a whole.
In planning the arts component of the summer school, one goal was to use the arts to teach English as a second language. However, learning happens and ideas can be expressed through means other than language, and all the arts are a basic part of a quality education. Irene Farrera came to sing and teach songs in each classroom and provided music for La Fiesta. Watercolorist Linda Budakov worked with all the students on several different art projects: watercolors, large tempera banners, t-shirts, and the mural project, whose themes stem from the oral histories that were collected. The mural is portable and will be displayed at different schools, galleries, and other settings throughout the year.
This is the mural we did with the 4th through 6th grade students. There were about 35 kids that worked on the mural. The first thing it's related to the oral histories that they did with Sandra. And first we met a couple times and we talked about their stories. And then they did drawings telling about relating to the stories, and then we transferred those drawings to the mural. And all the kids worked on the mural at various times. We had maybe 4 kids to about 6, 8 kids in here at a time working on the mural. First we painted the background, selected our colors, then we drew some of the items on the houses, the animals, the water, the boats, and so forth. And in working with the mural, we talk about the design elements, and we also talk about the colors and how it's going to read from a distance. Putting light colors next to dark colors, bright colors next to pastel colors, gives it a lot of zip and dimension. With the mural, one of the most important aspects is it's a group project, and all the kids are sharing. It's their project together. And maybe someone drew a certain horse or a burro, and someone else may come in and paint the background on it. Someone else may come in and decorate the blanket. And it's just sharing ideas and sharing to make the mural work, and everybody contributes in different areas. Another project that I did with the kids was t-shirts. Every child in the program painted a t-shirt, and I did the lettering on the t-shirt for their name, and then the kids worked on the t-shirt with some assistance, and also all the teachers made t-shirts and all the helpers. It was quite a large project, and we hope to wear them for the fiesta. And I think that was a fun project that the kids will be able to take home with them, and also learn another aspect of art, wearable art. And I think there isn't enough art in the schools and in the kids' life, and it's really special to be able to come and share different things that I do with the kids, and hopefully leave them feeling good about themselves and their abilities. Like, wow, I can do this, and I'm a special person, and I can go out and do anything I want. And I think that's the real message with this program.
El Señor Escalante se merece nuestro agradecimiento. He helped us believe in ourselves and to succeed no matter what. Él nos ayudó a nosotros en nuestro mismo y tener éxito a pesar de todo. Now we know that nothing can stand in our way. Ahora sabemos que nada se nos puede atravesar y detenernos en nuestro camino.
Belief in one's ability and the power of education are themes that have run throughout this summer school. These were evidenced most vividly by the students taking history in their own stories, performing in front of an audience to share and to teach what they had learned. Actor-director Bobby Keeter.
The fact that it's a Reader's Theater program that I'm responsible for, my part of this is the theater portion, of course. We've done a lot of working with diction, and we've done a lot of working with meaning and so forth. And so in terms of English as a second language, theater really is a good vehicle for that. One of the things that has been most enjoyable is the oral history project, and both the video and the writing and the art, actually all 3 of those other arms of this project have been active in working on making the cultural heritage of the students here come alive through art and literature. And we have 3 of the stories that came out of the oral history projects we have in our Reader's Theater program. An amazing thing, well, just seeing the kids working with a video camera, seeing kids working with this kind of sound equipment, learning to speak into a microphone, seeing kids working on a project the size of this mural so that their work, when they see it finished, is a beautiful, beautiful piece of work, and their own writing their own stories, having the opportunity to do that, and working with a person of the caliber of Sandra Schofield in order to accomplish that. I think that the kids have done, as far as with the artists and then with the teachers who have been in the regular classroom in a situation, I think they've had a lot of special things to do this summer that have given them a lot of self-pride and esteem. I think these kinds of programs are important. I think these programs are what education is about, and we need to focus our energies more as educators and administrators to see that they're properly funded so that we can have the size groups that are manageable for people and more people having these kinds of experiences in their summers.
We are all getting prepared for La Fiesta. La Fiesta means a big party, and this fiesta is going to show our families what we've done during these whole 5 weeks of summer school.
Of the students now get a chance to see their children's many accomplishments over the last 5 weeks. Booklets of students writing fill the classrooms. A TV monitor is set up for viewing the video oral history programs so that parents can see their children on TV. Artwork decorates the halls and gym, and the mural serves as the backdrop for the Reader's Theater production. This performance interweaves songs, folk tales, student writing, and history, all held together by 5 of the children playing students who have to write a report on treasures of my culture. They begin with history, then move to well-known Mexican Americans, and finally decide that many treasures can be found in the stories their families have told them, and that the experience that they have forged their culture's ever-changing identity.
Good evening and welcome to the Fiesta program for Summer School 1989. We have had a busy but a fun summer. Many of the activities that we have done this summer have evolved from stories about the students' families and their culture. Please sit back and enjoy some of them now as the students of the Jackson County Migrant Education program proudly present Treasures of My Culture.
My mom didn't want to open the door because she was afraid the pigs would come out. So she climbed on the fence, and since the food was too heavy, she fell off the rail. And the pigs came closer to eat the food that had spilled. My aunt started looking for something. My mom said, "What are you looking for?" My aunt said, "Your broken hand." My mom said, "Why are you crying?" She said, "Because the pigs ate your hand." My mom's name is Esperanza Gonzalez, and this happened in Mexico. You mean Richard Valens? A coyote stuck his head out of a bush. He was asked to give his opinion. The coyote took his role very seriously. "Well," he said after a few moments of reflection, "I cannot give you my opinion until I see the scene exactly the way it was.
Veo lo importante de mi decisión y por eso insisto en ver todo cual como estaba."
The snake agreed. He let them roll the same rock over him in the same exact position as before. When the coyote felt sure that the snake could not budge from there, he told Pancho with a smile, "Let's go, amigo."
Hey, should I say like another bus is coming in here? And here are the other buses arriving. No,
let's get some of these kids coming off. No, I don't think so.
Say hello, my name is Pancho Francisco.
I don't even have to be on camera.
Say your name, Pancho. Hello, my name is Pancho Francisco. Say it, Pancho. Come on, buddy.
No.
Just say it. What's your name?
Pancho Francisco.
Un ratito. Dile, un ratito. No. You gotta have a snapper. Beats up kids and doing
Thank you.
Why don't you now stop the camera?
Thank you. Yeah. Ha. Bye, Tren. Yeah, friend.
The runt's on patrol. The runt's on patrol.
Ah, shut up.
I'll take him in a minute.
Okay, that's fine. I'll
Say
start
hi.
walking over there.
Say hello, my name is Vincente. Say it.
Hi.
Say hello.
Did you get suspended, Vicente?
He did.
Okay, it's good.
Youngest kid to ever get suspended.
Here it is.
Scoot back, Vicente.
The our first criminal in summer school.
Should I say it?
Go for it. Yeah.
Here's one of the first criminals ever to be suspended in summer school. And also the youngest.
Can I ask him a question?
How old are you? What's your name? I guess he doesn't feel like talking. Okay.
I don't think it's on.
You, Ham, vete allá. ¿Puedes llevar eso, el dinosaurio? Ándale, pues. Did you get anybody on this? And what? He's shy.
No, Emilio! Nobody else!
Becky, go hop on. Hold on, really get sit down.
You can keep your feet up.
There you go. Good job.
Oh, we're running low on battery.
Yo tampoco estaba dormido y ya me levanté. Yo también. Yo también estaba dormido. ¿Y ya te levantaste? Nosotros estamos grabando, ¿verdad? ¡Ay! ¡Va otro ratón! ¡Por acá! ¡Oh! Va a reventar la carretera. Para el camino voy a hacer. ¡La carreta!
Kiko the hand, huh? Can you go fast, Kiko? Look up here. Look at him. Wild man.
I tried that yesterday.
Oh, wait a minute here. Is this thing going? Oh, damn.
Get it going for...
Don't move the wire.
Is it recording?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Yes, it is.
Making bubbles can be a lot of fun as we observe these little kids doing it. Could also be fun for teachers. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I think so too.
Boy, I'd rather be doing that than doing this, wouldn't you? Hey, come here. Come here. Come here, Junior. Come here. So you like making bubbles?
Yeah.
Why do you like doing it?
Fun.
Is it real fun?
Uh-huh.
You especially like popping them?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you better go on and play now. More and more kids keep on coming. They realize it's funner.
I'll bet. This thing gets tiring on your back.
Get up, fool.
No, I don't have to. It's going wicked. Efren, take a look at it. It's strobing.
Oh my god. Dude, that's it.
I don't know what's the matter with it. It's going strobe. It won't focus. Take it off of.
Stop it. Stop the tip.
Yeah.
I nearly missed the sunset. I nearly missed the rainbow. I nearly missed the shooting star going by. Energy! While studying a brand new hole in my sneakers and finding a quarter and an old bus token. I nearly missed the sunset. I nearly missed the looking down at the ground means you know where you're going. No head up in the clouds to lead you astray. But you can't ever help and be that way. Now you guys who have to go over while looking at my feet and cracking in the sidewalk. Old tin can by the side of the road. I really miss that sunset. Don't want to miss that rainbow. I will miss that shooting star going by. All right. Sing in here.
Whenever you're walking down the street, where there's just one way to walk, you gotta walk down the street with your head held high. Keep a cool look of confidence in your eye. You know nothing's impossible if you try. So walk down the street with your head held high. All right. You may be dead or skinny. You may be short or tall. Whatever you are, well, I like you fine.
rolling. Yeah, it's good too. Turn to right again, Ada. Turn it down and right so we can see more of your face.
Right where? Okay.
Right on that pad.
What?
Look at the computer screen.
Okay.
And then turn it as if you're writing on the pad, okay? Wait a second, I'll tell you when.
Okay, pretend.
Okay, good. Great. Are we rolling, Jordan?
It's going to seem like all I'm doing is shuffling papers, right? I can find my calendar.
Finally, we see you're doing some work, huh?
I know that. Did you do that before?
No, it wasn't. 50. It's recording.
El maestro nos ha dado una tarea bien difícil. The history of Mexico. ¿Qué tal si comenzamos con la historia de México? I was just reading about Benito Juárez. Yo estaba leyendo sobre Benito Juárez. Benito Juárez, founder of modern Mexico.
Benito Juárez, el fundador de México moderno.
He was president when Mexico fought against France and won its independence. Era presidente cuando México luchaba contra los franceses y ganó su independencia. In 1967, in Mexico City, there was a huge celebration. Benito Juárez talked to his people.
En 1867, Benito Juárez dirigió a su gentela Ciudad de México, donde había una grande celebración.
Yeah, I can make her look. I just go across.
My people, welcome. My people, welcome you. Your courage has rewarded you have fought our enemies and you have won. Let the celebration begin. Que comience la fiesta. Let the children sing. Que comiencen los niños a cantar.
Somebody talk to them about that. I know, that's what I'm saying, don't do that. Here, you want to do this?
What?
No.
Once upon a time, a rattlesnake got caught under a big rock and would have died right there if a wrench had not passed by. Old Pancho, who was a very kind man, felt sorry for the snake and lifted the rock. Would you believe that the rattler, not losing a moment, recoiled and was about to strike Pancho when Pancho shouted, "What are you doing? I've just saved your life and look at you trying to strike me?"
¿Qué quieres hacer, ingrata? Te acabo de salvar la vida. ¿Cómo me quieres pagar matándome?
The reptile sneered and said, "You've got a lot to learn about life yet. Don't you know wherever good is always repaid with evil?"
Tienes mucho que aprender todavía. ¿No sabes que en la vida debes de ser llamado y que te hace bien?
That's a lie, protested Pancho. That's a lie, protested Pancho. I tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. We will ask 3 witnesses how they feel about that, and if all 3 agree with you, I'll let you strike me.
Esto es pura mentira. Mira, vamos a preguntar a 3 testigos lo que piensan sobre esto, y si los 3 están de acuerdo contigo, dejaré que me muerdas.
Okay, said the rattler. You're only delaying the execution.
Entendido, pero verás que estás demorando las cosas para nada.
The first animal to pass by it was a donkey. He agreed altogether with the snake, complaining that the only reward he had ever gotten for his dedication had been bruises and lashes on the back. A hen came by. She was as pessimistic as the donkey.
Okay, so you come on like this, and you're looking at Carlos. Okay, you look at Carlos, and you tell him about your lashes and stuff. Carlos is going to come pat you on the back, and you're going to go like this. Okay, see what I'm saying? Okay, all right, yeah, same. Let's start with
now. See? And you can still hear it. It's off. And you can look it up. How? It still stays on, and I can.
Okay, the first to come was that. First was the coyote. Go ahead with that.
Where?
First was the coyote.
No, I left off it. A hen came by.
We're going to start it again at the reversing, so we're going back to
Coyote. The coyote took it.
coyote that
Oh, okay.
all right. A little bit closer to the snake. There you go.
The first animal to pass by was a donkey. He agreed altogether with the snake, complaining that the only reward he has ever gotten for his dedications has been curses and lashes on the back. A hen came by. She was as pessimistic as the donkey, convinced that the day she would stop laying eggs, she would end up in a pond.
Good. And he's going to pat her on the back.
Now things were looking real bad for Pancho. One more witness against him.
You're almost ready. That was nice, Laura. Just like that.
Now things were looking real bad for Pancho. One more witness against him and he was doomed. At that moment, a coyote stuck his head out of a bush. He was asked to give his opinion. The coyote took his role very seriously. "Well," he said after a few moments of reflection, "I cannot give you my opinion until I see the scene exactly the way it was."
Veo lo importante de mi decisión y por eso necesito ver todos de acuerdo como estaban.
The snake agreed all together. He let them know the same exact rock over him in the same exact position as before. When the coyote felt sure that the snake could not budge, she told Pancho with a smile, "Let's go, amigo. Now we don't ever even need an answer to your question."
Vámonos, amigo, ya ves, todo está arreglado. Ni siquiera tenemos que discutir el problema ya.
Thank you.
After you're sure, you're quite sure that the snake will budge, okay, Maria? After you're quite sure, then you can come over here and look. And then you're standing in the right position to say to Carlos, "Come on, amigo." Okay? Let's try it.
Do we practice? Okay.
So first you're here. You're there. Okay, Carlos stays right there, Maria. Here. Now you're sure that they will budge. Come on, amigo. Come on.
Stand and deliver. The teacher, Jaime Escalante.
Y este tipo que hicieron una película, Stand and Deliver, Stand and Deliver, el maestro Jaime Escalante.
Students.
Jaime Escalante.
He works with folks in East LA.
Yeah, the man works with kids in East LA.
Que trabaja con los niños en Los Ángeles.
I am a former student of Mr. Escalante.
Yo fui un estudiante del señor Escalante.
Mr. Escalante deserves a special thanks. He serves our special thanks.
El señor Escalante se merece nuestro agradecimiento.
He helped us believe in ourselves and to succeed no matter what.
Él nos ayudó a creer en nosotros mismos y tener éxito a pesar de todo.
Now we know that nothing can stand in our way.
Ahora sabemos que nada se nos puede atravesar y detenernos en nuestro camino.
I am a former student of Mr. Escalante.
Yo fui un estudiante del señor Escalante.
Mr. Escalante deserves our special thanks.
El señor Escalante se merece nuestro agradecimiento.
He helped us believe in ourselves and to succeed no matter what.
Él nos ayudó a creer en nosotros mismos y tener éxito a pesar de todo.
Now we know that nothing can stand in our way.
Practice saying each word separately so that they don't run together. Because with the sound, it's just how down.
So right down.
So, let's speak Spanish so I can give you an example. Mr. Escalante deserves our special thanks. Make sure that everyone's clear in this, okay? All right, good. It sounded really nice. The emotion is just really good. All right? You want to try it one more time?
I am a former student of Mr. Escalante.
Yo fui un estudiante del señor Escalante.
Mr. Escalante deserves our special thanks.
El señor Escalante se merece nuestro agradecimiento.
He helped us believe in ourselves and to succeed no matter what.
Él nos ayudó a creer en nosotros mismos y tener éxito a pesar de todo.
Now we know that nothing can stand in our way.
Ahora sabemos que nada nos puede atravesar en nuestro camino.
If you guys just want to get a drink of water and stuff, well, I need you still, but I'm not going to